We all love to dress up our dogs, but that can get really expensive. Dog sweaters, jackets, fancy collars, they are not cheap. And especially for something that your dog's not going to wear all the time, every day, it's hard to find that money in your budget sometimes. Today I wanted to share with you some ideas that I've used to make DIY dog clothes that are super simple. I'm not super crafty. I definitely don't have sewing skills, but there's some really easy ways that you can actually repurpose your old clothing material into dog clothes. So one of the easiest things to do is to use an old t-shirt, sweater, onesie, baby onesies if you have a really small breed dog. Your dog's arms can fit through the armholes, and then you can just cut the shirt or the onesie, whatever you're using, you can just cut it to length. Usually what I do is you can buy, it's like no-sew cloth glue, and you can buy it in any craft store or in the sewing section of any big box store. And I just fold the end over after you cut it, fold the end over and glue it together just so that nothing frays and your material doesn't easily rip. Just, it kind of makes like a hem there without actually having to sew. And of course, if you have sewing skills, you could definitely sew it if that's something that you're good at. I am definitely not. I also love it because it upcycles your old stuff. So take scarves, for example. You can make a really easy dog collar out of an old scarf. Just cut it, roll it until it's skinny to, however, whatever width you want it to be. And then either just sew it really quick, or you can glue it together. Hot glue works really well, and just stick it together, and then you have a really cute like plaid dog collar or whatever material a scarf is. If you have a nice like winter scarf, maybe with like a snowman pattern or something, you can make a really cute dog collar out of that. So there's a lot of different ways to do it. I recommend just looking at your old stuff. Think about stuff that you don't wear anymore or things that you don't use, and see if you can repurpose those. I'm also going to show you today how to make a quick DIY dog sweater and a really cute bow tie collar that requires no sewing. And today I'm going to show you how to make a dog bow tie, a DIY dog bow tie. You're going to need to start with 2 pieces of fabric. Our home team here in Maine is the New England Patriots, so that's these are actually some scraps of fabric left over from another project that I was working on. So the first piece of fabric you're going to want to cut, and I'm using a fleece material. Flannel felt works really well. You can use whatever material, whatever pattern that you want. What you need to remember is that this large piece is going to be double the size of the bow tie that you want. So think about the length and the width of the bow tie that you want, and then double that for the size of this piece of fabric. So my fabric here is about 10 inches long by 3 inches wide, and that's going to make my bow tie about 5 inches long by about 1.5 inches wide. And then you want a piece that is the same length, but it's only about 1/3 of the width. So this is 10 inches long again, but it's only 1 inch wide. I'm going to start with my larger piece, and what you want to do, I have a ruler here, and I'm going to find the center of my piece, which would be 5 inches. So that would be right here. I'm going to fold each piece into the center. Because it is a no-sew bow tie, I'm going to use hot glue. So I'm going to just put a little line of hot glue here. I'm running out of glue, so I'm going to stick another stick in there, and I'm going to fold this over and just press it together and let it dry. Then I'm going to flip it over, and with the good side facing up, I'm going to put a good size dot of hot glue right in the center. And now I'm going to fold it in the middle and just pinch it until it dries. My glue in the center is feeling pretty dry, so I'm going to just turn it. I have it folded in half. I'm just going to turn it to the back side on this half. Put a little dot of glue here, and then just fold this side back, pinch it again, let that dry. And then on the other side, I'm going to do the same thing. It's a dot of glue here in the center. And fold it back. My fleece is pretty thick, so these outside pieces aren't sticking, so I'm just gonna add a little more glue. If you see any area on yours that isn't, that one's kind of sticking, but not very well. So if you feel like it's not secure in any places, add a little more glue, no problem there. And now you can see it kind of starting to take the shape of a bow tie. Now that your bow is, or the bow part is done, you can stick your fingers in, open up each side to make it look a little bit nicer, and you can check to make sure that all the pieces are properly stuck together. And then we're going to use that other little piece of fabric that you had cut your 1 inch, or mine is a 1 inch section. And what I'm going to do here is just put a little line of glue down this side. Oops. And then I'm going to fold this edge over. And if you haven't guessed, I'm going to do the same thing on the other end, or the other edge, I should say, not the other end. I'm a very messy hot gluer. I'm just going to stick these down anywhere that needs a little more glue. Then I just want to go ahead and do the same thing on the other edge. Now we have the strip, both edges are folded into the middle and glued down, and if you haven't guessed, this is going to be the center to go around your bow. So on the back side of the bow, you want to put a good sized dollop of hot glue, stick that on there, wrap it around, and you want to wrap it tightly because you don't want any leftover bunching up. So we're going to wrap it tightly and then just glue it on the back side. You may be wondering why there is so much extra left over here. That's going to be the part that wraps around and goes on your dog's collar. So now you can see we've got the cute little bow tie. And what you're going to want to do now is just stick some Velcro on the back side here and some Velcro on this end here, and then you'll be able to Velcro it right around your pet's collar. Today I'm going to show you how to make the easiest DIY dog sweater that there is. If you find one that's easier to make than this, I challenge you to find it and show it to me. I will definitely share it. But this is the easiest one I've ever found. So first thing you're going to do is take an old sweatshirt or a fleece. I like the fleece material. It seems to be warmer and just comfier and snugglier to me. So I chose a fleece. This happens to be an old fleece of my husband's. It has a couple of stains on it. We were going to get rid of it anyway. You can pick one up at a secondhand shop if you don't have an old one that you're looking to get rid of. But so you're going to take this and what you can do is measure your dog's length. Start at the wrist, start at the beginning of the sleeve, and just measure down to the length of wherever you would want it to sit on your dog, and you can make that cut there. You can trim it up after too. So what I'm going to do is just cut right here near the armpit. And I will trim it up once I actually get it on Molly and see what it looks like. So we're just cutting off the sleeve. You can cut the other sleeve off and make 2 dog sweaters with one old fleece or sweatshirt that you weren't gonna use anyway. So you're gonna take this, the sleeve here is what's gonna be what slips over your dog's head. So basically your dog's head's gonna fit through here, and then this part's gonna go down his body. You're gonna cut some armholes here, and we have to actually put it on your dog and measure in order to do that. No, over here. So here is our Beagle Molly, and here's the sleeve we just cut. And unfortunately, our Chocolate Lab Sadie is here too, and that is her tail you hear thumping on the floor. So I'm going to slip this over Molly's head and see Sadie's gonna be sassy. And now you can see if you pull it down about where you're going to need your armholes to go. So I'm gonna take it off Molly and I'm gonna cut those slits. All right, so now the only other thing I meant to tell you is on the back end of it, you wanna cut the belly a little bit shorter if you have a male dog, and that's just so that he doesn't pee all over his new DIY sweater. So pull Molly's ears out, and I'm gonna find, oops, got it turned around. So I'm gonna find the hole that I cut for this one, put it through. Molly has dew claws, so sometimes they get caught. And then we'll put the other paw through. And then we can pull it down. This sweater is a little bit tight on Molly. You can see I'm going to cut the armholes a little bit bigger. I didn't cut them quite long enough, so I'll cut them a little bit bigger, but if you want to, you can fold the collar down and hot glue that so it doesn't look you know, tattered. Same thing if you want to roll the bottom and hot glue it, you can do that. You can add buttons, you can add ribbon, whatever you want to dress up your dog coat. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, Samantha@topdogtips.com. Thanks for watching this how-to guide.